Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reviewing a classic book in personal finance, and that is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go and do that. What is taking you so long? And smash the like button. And okay, so I read this book and I digested everything. I thought it was awesome. I think everybody should read it. So I summarized my key takeaways and I'm going to tell you guys what I think those are. So the first key takeaway from the book is that the rich don't work for money. Okay, some of you are like, no way, that's totally off. And I think it is a little off. I think like the mega rich in the world, like Jeff Bezos or something like that, like obviously those people have done tons of work for their billions of dollars to create original value. But I think what Robert Kiyosaki is talking about here is like, he's saying that rich people find ways to make smart investments and bring assets into their life that make them money with very little work. Another key takeaway from this book is the concept of an asset. He actually addresses something that I think is really critical to American psychology, and that the middle class and poor in America don't understand what an asset is. And I think like really savvy, almost manipulative marketing makes poor people think that buying a certain product, like a car or something, is owning an asset. Where the second that you buy a car, its value goes down a lot and it never makes you any money. So a car is not really a good asset to have. And then a lot of middle class people view their home as a tremendous asset, and they spend their entire life trying to pay off their home. And they think of that as an asset, but really every single month you have a mortgage payment on your home. Robert Kiyosaki defines an asset as something that puts money into your pocket, very simple, and a liability as something that takes money out of your pocket. So Robert Kiyosaki defines real assets as income producing businesses that don't require your time and energy, stocks, bonds, real estate, and royalties from intellectual properties. This is sort of like tying into passive income. If you want to see my video on passive income ideas, click the link below. Robert gives a definition of wealth, which I wholeheartedly agree with. So he defines wealth as one's ability to live for some period of time without working. So if you can live 2 years without working or 5 years without working or something like that, given the amount of money that you have, that is what Robert considers to be wealth. So he and his wife achieved a real estate empire by age 47 that makes them enough money per year to cover their expenses and also beats inflation in terms of its general growth rate. So he could be considered very wealthy because he doesn't have to work in order to sustain his lifestyle. So this really helped me contextualize like my view of having a job, because I always thought of having a job as like, wow, I don't think I can do this for like 50 years. That sounds like really sad and hard. But now I kind of see having a job as like generating cash flow. Robert was a top salesman at Xerox, and that was how he generated a lot of the income to start his real estate corporation and to start buying properties. I just thought that was a really cool way to frame having a job, is think of a job as your cash flow to then power your investments. Another key point that Robert talks about is the idea of school. And he talks about school as not actually having sound financial education. When was the last time that you went to school and they like really taught you about money management, right? So he says that like life teaches you in such a different way than school, and that school is not a great preparation to learn to deal with money. School is a great preparation to gain skills which can then be applied in a job, but that doesn't teach you financial management, right? So Robert talks about life being a great teacher, but being a hard teacher. Instead of having lectures and lessons and giving you information, life just gives you failure and success, and you just have to learn from those, basically. So when you fail, what happened, what went wrong? And when you succeed, what's going right? Can we keep doing more of that, right? So that's how life teaches you. So get out there and start learning. Robert also talks about your mind as being your only real and true asset. Money can make money, for sure, but many more people have generated money from their minds and the things they're able to do with their effort and creativity than have generated money from just having money. Like, you have to know what you do with your money. So money mismanaged is not valuable at all. I mean, you could spend millions of dollars in a year and have nothing at the end of it, right? So your mind is your truest asset. So invest in your mind and, you know, read and think and test things and try things and keep getting stronger mentally. So I actually found this really interesting. I didn't know this. Rich people actually get taxed at a lower rate often than people in the highest tax bracket. But if you're working every single year at a salaried job and you're making a lot of money, you're probably getting taxed like 40%, which is like a really big chunk of your income. The super rich actually use corporations to protect them against taxes. So the tax rate on a corporation could be 20%, something way lower than 40. So if you have all your real estate holdings in a corporation, like let's say you make $500,000 off of your real estate income that year. If it's held in a corporation, it'll get taxed at a lower rate than if you made that money as an individual at a job. There's also like an order flow to how a corporation allows you to spend, which is different from an individual. So a high earning individual will make money, then pay taxes, and then spend. Where if you have a corporation, you can make money, spend as a part of your corporate expense structure, and then pay taxes. Robert suggests knowing a little about a lot. His rich dad would make him sit around in these rooms of all of these different people, attorneys, bankers, lawyers, salespeople, marketers. Like, he wanted Robert to understand all the key functions of a company. And whenever he got good at something, a little too good at something, he would immediately switch and do something else. So his one dad was always really mad at him because every time he would do a job for a certain amount of time and get kind of good at it, he would immediately switch and start learning something else. And his rich dad thought that was wise because it would give him more perspective about all of the holistic functions of a company. Robert says that it's not the smart who get ahead in the world, but it's the bold. He says that one of the most important things you can learn as a business person is just being okay with rejection. You're going to get rejected a lot. And that's what makes a great business person, is just being okay with that and being okay with the process. He says that sales and marketing are the most important business skill that a person can have. In this day and age, with technology and really awesome product design, some very, very innovative products sell themselves. But I do agree with his general principle that if you have a product that is not so innovative or so fascinating that it's going to sell itself, then you need to understand sales and marketing really well. So what were Robert's personal methods for achieving great wealth? First, real estate, and then second, buying and selling of small cap stocks. The first one I basically understand, but not as well as Robert. He bought a lot of houses that were foreclosures, so he was able to use like $5,000 and grow it into like a much larger sum of money, like $100,000, by buying foreclosed properties. I don't really understand this completely. Maybe I should look more into it. Additionally, buying small cap stocks. Kind of sounds like he's in a group of people that are talking about this and have an understanding of what small cap stocks are going to grow, because I've kind of experimented a bit with this and not really had any success. I don't really think for beginner investors small cap stocks are a great idea, but if you want to become really knowledgeable about this, a lot of people have made a lot of money off of buying stocks that were valued very low and that those companies grew and became bigger. So yeah. One of the last principles that Robert discusses is something I don't fully understand either, and it's the idea that like rich people give and then receive, and that people who don't have a wealthy mindset, they receive and then they give. He says that you have to give in order to receive. I don't fully understand this. I think it's because I'm half Cuban and I've heard horror stories of communism for my entire life. So, you know, I think there is something to be said here. Like for me in my life, I've given more knowledge and advice and emotional support to people. I think as I get older, I'll probably give more money as well. So I think giving kind of comes back to you in some weird karmic way. I think that's sort of what Robert's trying to teach us here. So what were my key takeaways from this book? I think the biggest lesson I got from this book is that the most like practical and sure way to become wealthy is to convert earned income into passive income as quickly as possible. And then obviously like another way to become insanely wealthy would be to create something extremely, extremely valuable and have it grow, like, you know, really big, interesting company. But for someone who maybe isn't so innovative or doesn't think that they have the next like Amazon type idea or the skills to build that kind of company. Like, finding ways to create passive income from earned income is how most millionaires make their first million. So thanks guys for listening. I hope you learned something. Get the book, it was great, I loved it. Subscribe to my channel, I make videos. And yeah, I hope to see you guys around next time. Hope everybody has a great week. Peace.